The market is crashing. What do we do? Everyone went from bullish to bearish in one day. And honestly, is because Trump is now imposing a 100% tariff against China, and China is imposing tariffs against us. So we will see what happens with all this tariff talk next week. But obviously, the market is responding negatively. VOO, the S&P 500 was down like 2.5% today. QQQ was down 3.5%. So very big red day. And obviously all the growth stocks were down a lot. So let's look at the market and see what's happening and see if we can develop a game plan for next week. Before I continue, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing at this point. View this only as entertainment. All right, let's get into the market. All right, let's start with VOO. So we can see, just looking at today really quickly, VOO dropped to about the 50-day moving average today. Now, post-market is below that, which means the next logical targets are the 100 moving day average and the 200 moving day average. The 200 moving day average is right around the previous all-time highs from February. This is the exact all-time high, and this is kind of a support line. So look at where that 200 moving day average is, right in that previous all-time high, previous support line. So chances are we are going to see this 100 moving day average, assuming we don't get any big news next week, positive news that is. And then the next target would be the 200 moving day average. So let's look at this chart from an Elliott wave standpoint to try to see what we can figure out. So looking here, it looks like we had a 1, ABC2, and all of this could be a big wave 3. Looking at the RSI, the highest point is right here, which means this is wave 3 of 3. Typically, wave 3 has 3-wave impulse in it. This looks like wave 3. So this is wave 3 of 5, wave 5, yeah. So we see the bearish divergence. We see the high RSI and then a lower RSI with the higher price. So assuming this is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere around here, 5, somewhere up here. So just keep that in mind for now. I think this might be the top of wave 3 and we're going into wave 4. So if we take the Fibonacci retracement from this bottom wave 2 to the top of wave 3, we see the point. So wave 3 is typically retraced to the 0.236, 0.382. So the 0.236 is right around that 100 moving average. The 0.382 is right around that 200 moving average. So it's very possible we see around these areas. Let's look at the weekly chart. Looking at the weekly chart, that 0.382 lines up right with the 50 moving average on the weekly chart. And if we look at the RSI on the weekly chart, this is the current high, signifying this is probably a wave 3. So everything is looking pretty controlled. None of this looks crazy. Obviously, VOO was down 2.69% today. It's down another 1% post-market. So we will most likely see more pain, more red days in the next week. Monday is Columbus Day, so the market is closed as well. So I would assume we see a lot of panic Tuesday morning. So we will see what happens there. But again, as of right now, VOO just went down to the 50-day moving average. It's now dipping lower. So I do expect more downturn. Let's look at QQQ. So during the day, QQQ did not get as far down to the 50-day moving average. We have the previous all-time high lined off right here. This looks like the same. 1, ABC2. Bearish divergence. Let's look at the weekly chart. All-time high in the RSI. So this is wave 3 most likely. So let's do the same thing. Let's take the Fibonacci retracement from this wave 2 low, assuming this is wave 3. And same thing, the 0.236 is around all this previous support. And then we have the 0.382 around the previous all-time high, also coming up on the 50 weekly average. Let's look at the dailies. So same thing, the 100-day moving average is right around that 0.236, and the 200 is right around the 0.382 and the previous all-time high. So I am guessing we do see these levels hit. We might see around here hit. So we might see around the 0.382 previous all-time high, 200-day moving average. There's lots of confluence, lots of markers lining up. So that's probably what we can expect in the upcoming weeks. Now, before we get super scared, let's look what happened when the previous tariff talks started. We see this was the high, and then we got an A, B, C. And that was a big correction. That was like a full... That could have been the full market correction. This is in log 2, so... We see this... So this went to the 0.382, and where did it go down to the previous all-time high? If I can get this on here. So if we look at the previous all-time high and previous support lines, hit right at the 382, right in that zone. Kind of looks exactly like what we're seeing here. It's going to hit right at that 382. Oops, wrong one. It's going to hit right at 382, right around those previous all-time highs. So don't panic yet. Have a game plan in place. Be at the lookout for these markers. Look at your 50, 100, 200 moving day averages. Look at your Fibonacci retracements, and develop a game plan this weekend for next week. I did some buying today because we did have a good 2 to 3% red day. So I did buy some VOO and QQQ in one of my portfolios. I did buy some in my Roth, and I bought a bunch in my YouTube portfolio, which I'll update tomorrow on here. Basically, all the gains I had in my YouTube portfolio are gone now because we had a huge red day. But again, don't panic. Look at these key levels, make smart purchases, and I would say don't be afraid to buy during a downturn because, again, look what happened with the previous tariff. Got bought back up, and now we're at all-time highs. QQQ got all the way down to 402, and then it got all the way up to 613. So yeah, don't be scared to buy during these downturns. I bought a good amount during this tariff low. I wish I bought more. I'm not going to make that same mistake this time. But I'm not going to just buy blindly. I'm going to wait for these levels to be hit. But that is it, everyone. Everyone went from bullish to bearish in a day. Don't be afraid. Make a game plan. Make smart purchases next week. Let's build those portfolios.